apparently none of that counts for like customer service because it's not bending over backwards to do whatever they want, even when it costs your store a whole bunch of money to fix a problem they made.
This is a message brought to you by Patrick and Dal from Challengers Comics. It's pretty good.
In the Midwest, you know the best is there waiting, so come and join the conversation. Eisner approved, fan and artist and creator too. This is how the challengers do. What? Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics, keep your local store strong. If you're smart, then it's a job for the challengers. What? Comics and conversation, y'all.
From
Challengers Comics in Chicago.
This is Contest of Challengers, a comics industry business podcast with
Patrick Brower.
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 Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
W. Dal Bush.
Dal Bush.
Del Bush.
Dal.
Del.
Dal.
W. Dal Bush.
Here's Patrick and Dal.
You know, Dal, I think I've learned something this week.
What's that?
Well, it's a roundabout way to get to it.
Okay.
And it's going to be a story where I'm angry at people as it progresses.
It's an unusual story for Patrick to tell.
I know, right? But this goes back a while ago.
2 weeks?
To early May.
Wow, that's a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is going to tie into something that a slight change we made to the website yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, you immediately knew where all this was going.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to make it more general when I start. We've had an issue lately, a very repetitive issue, where people from out of state buy a comic box, a long box or a short box.
Pretty much only those two items.
Yes. They pay for they don't pay for it. They set local shipping.
Well,
local pickup.
So we do not ship large items through the mail,
Correct.
especially cheap, flat, light, large items, because the cost is prohibitive.
There's just no way to package that. We don't have boxes big enough.
That's one of the main things. But basically, like we, to keep things simple for us, we have a flat rate for shipping for in-stock items at $7. Obviously, if someone's getting, a giant box of hardcovers or whatever, we're probably going to pay more in shipping than they're paying us in shipping. But we consider that a worthwhile expenditure if someone's buying a whole bunch of big, heavy hardcovers. We're going to make a few $100s on that. So the extra $3 to $5 we might have to pay for shipping is not such a huge burden. And most people get a few comics, a graphic novel, whatever, so it balances out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 1 out of every 10 packages we ship, I would say, cost us like an extra 50 cents to $1.
Right. So and again, like for us, our logistics are something that we don't necessarily have a really complicated system for. We never designed our store to be one that ships stuff out. We started doing it during the pandemic, and we've had to kind of figure that out as we go. It's not something that we have a ton of space for, or again, a lot of knowledge about or history with. So keeping things at like a flat rate shipping means that we are making it easy on ourselves to do that alongside running the store. We determined early on that we did not want to try to ship out things like long boxes because, like Patrick said, one, don't know how to package that. We do not have a box big enough to ship long boxes in. And the other thing is we would have to start calculating out that shipping rate. I can guarantee you it would be triple to quadruple the cost of the box itself.
Yeah, the boxes are very inexpensive.
Right. But at the same time, we know there's people locally who want to get certain comic supplies. And while they could just come in and buy them, they want to make sure that they're in stock before they get there.
We do tend to sell out of short boxes often. In fact, as we're recording this, we do not have any plain white half-size comic storage boxes for sale.
Right.
We have dozens of Marvel graphic boxes, but none of the plain white ones.
2 new designs this past week.
Yeah, and one more next week.
But we do have people who want to, essentially, what does Brian call it? Click and brick or something? Click and mortar? Click and mortar, I think he calls it. Where
click and brick sounds like something on a different website altogether.
It just sounds like a Lego thing to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too innocent.
Maybe.
So, but there's people, and I would consider myself one of them, where if I was going to make a trip out to a store, and I know it's going to take me, public transit, or even just finding parking if I have a car, a while, and it's going to be complicated. I want to make sure it's not a wasted trip. I go to their website. I find out they've got something in stock. I buy it. for local pickup, and then I know it's there. I go there when I can get there, I pick it up and I leave. And I think people would want to do that with supplies as well as comics and graphic novels. So we've offered people through the website a chance to buy supplies, but you can only check out with them in local pickup. If you put them in your cart and you try to ship them, you will get an error message basically saying, like, this item can't be shipped. And we put as a note on every single item that can't be shipped, this item can't be shipped.
All caps, bold lettering.
Right. But because of the way websites work, you can add something to your cart without ever looking at the item description. That can happen. But
Especially if on your phone.
this is, like Patrick said, been a bit of a problem recently, because while you can't check out for shipping with a box, people will not pay attention when they're checking out. They won't notice that they're not paying any shipping and that it specifically says local pickup, and that they get a notification saying that your item is ready for local pickup, and all these things that would normally key you in that this is not being shipped out to you for free. Like, no store on the planet is going to ship you out a long box or several long boxes for zero cost. You would literally spend more on the shipping than what someone's paying for the boxes. All of these things should be considered clues to a person who's paying attention to the things that are happening around them.
Well, you said right there, person paying attention. So, but yeah, at least once a week for the last couple of months almost,
It's been happening more often.
people will buy a box. And now immediately if somebody pays for a box, a long box or a short box, and that's all, and sets it for local pickup, the first thing we do is check, where do they live?
Yeah, because this has happened enough times that we're like, let me see your address. And even with local pickup, like, your address is on the order.
Yeah.
So we have an idea of where you're coming from. And of course,
So a couple of weeks ago, we would look at it and say, oh, you live in Arizona? We would message and say, hey, you just bought a box for local pickup. You live in Arizona. Will you be in Chicago anytime soon?
yeah, because, again, the thought is maybe somebody, is from far away, but they'll be in Chicago,
Yeah.
or they just moved, or
Or they're buying it for a friend to pick up.
Yeah, or their billing address is Arizona, but they now are staying in the city or whatever.
Yeah. Any
So
of those
we,
things.
We
can
never
happen.
just want to outright cancel an order. We want to have a conversation. We want to be like, explain this to me to make sure this, if it's a mistake, we'll refund you. If it's not a mistake, we'll keep the thing aside. What I found plenty of times over the years that we've been offering people the ability to buy stuff through our website is that no one reads any follow-up emails. Even
No.
subscribers sometimes. I emailed a subscriber recently to say, hey, you're down for this series. You specifically wanted a variant cover. The variant cover that was supposed to be shipped to us from the distributor keeps not getting shipped to us. The next issue of the series is out that you're down for. We have that variant. Can I just send you a different cover of the previous issue so you don't miss out on the series? So you can read the book, especially since you're a mail order subscriber and we're shipping your stuff out.
Yeah, it's not their fault. They got their variant cover ordered on
Right.
time. It's not our fault. Our distributor just keeps not sending it to us.
But this is
Every week it's on the invoice crossed
Yeah.
off.
And this is me reaching out to a customer saying, hey, I want to make sure you're okay with this before I just decide to do it. And they never got back to me. And they got invoiced 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And they still haven't gotten back to me. And I hope they pay their bill and then they're not too surprised when a box shows up with a different cover than what they ordered.
Yeah, there's occasions where somebody orders a book, we don't have it, but we'll be like, oh, we have like a 1 in 10 incentive. So we email back and say, hey, we're going to give you this 1 in 10 incentive for the cost of the regular issue. Are you cool with that?
Yeah. Or we'll be out of something and we'll say, okay, you ordered 2 things. One of them we don't have right now. Do you still want me to ship out the one thing you ordered? Or would you rather us just cancel the entire order because you don't want to pay the shipping
for one item?
And again, no one ever gets back to us.
So
we
the
wait like a
reason-
day and then we just ship it out and like,
The-
all right.
The reason we do all this communication is because we don't want anyone to be disappointed or upset by what they get.
Yeah, I'd certainly rather have a conversation about making alterations to an order before we ship it rather than after you get it.
Yeah.
And that makes it way more difficult and costly for us to try and resolve than while I have it in my hands in the store and can make any changes you want me to make. I can add something else on which we offer. I can alternate what you were going to get for a similar item with a different cover, like you said. I can cancel the entire order if you don't want to pay for it. Blah, blah, blah. But again, we need to hear back from you.
And all of these emails, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, are tagged on to the existing order confirmation email.
I don't know if that's the case. I think they say message from Challengers Comics and then whatever addendum we put onto that to clarify why we're messaging them.
So we're only
But
ever
at
doing
the
it.
basics, it just says message from Challengers Comics,
Yeah.
which as I've told you before, if I
And
was
also
someone-
say reorder, blah, 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 like in regards to order number or something or other.
I don't know if it does or not.
I'm pretty sure it does
Okay.
that.
If I order something from a business and I haven't received it yet, and I get an email from them, I want to read that email because I wonder if is it a shipping notification? Is it something's wrong with my order? Is there some other thing I need to know about? Like, I just gave them money, so I'm going to read pretty much any email they send me until I get my items. Not the case with our customers.
Yeah. So that happens with boxes so often that, well, a couple of months ago, people would buy a box and we just set it aside, tag it with a receipt, and wait for them to come in. And then after a few weeks, be like, oh, they're not coming in.
Yeah. That's why we started checking the addresses, because we would just automatically like, oh, local pickup, great, fine, I'll set it aside. Because we've had people in the past locally buy supplies and then come get them. Sometimes they don't get them super fast, but they eventually get them. But this was like, this long box has been sitting aside, and I try storing a long box.
And not having it get damaged.
They're big and flat. They're in the way. We don't like sitting on those for that long. So, after a couple weeks, we look and it's like, it's still there. So then we reach out and say, are you coming to get this? What's going on? And that's usually when it's then we start having problems.
So what we did, and that this is not the point of the story, but it is a
consequence of the story.
Consequence is a better word. We just took the long boxes and magazine boxes and half boxes off the website.
Yeah.
You can't buy them online anymore.
If you are local and want them, you can come in and get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this takes us back to our story back in the first week of May, where somebody bought a long box or a half box, whatever.
I think it was a long box.
A long box. So we put it aside, and then we waited, and 2.5 weeks later, in the middle of the night, it was like 1:53. Is that right? No, it's like 1:50. Somewhere. I had the times written down. Mm-hmm. I didn't save it. I'm not that petty.
Somewhere in the wee hours. I am petty. In the wee hours.
But somewhere between like 1:53 and 1:58 a.m., we get a message through the site saying, I ordered a box for shipping. I realize now you're not going to I realize you're not going to ship it. Oh man, I don't remember. I haven't looked it up because why would I want to?
Sure.
Oh God, don't do that to yourself.
Let's just take me a minute, hopefully.
So basically, they'd been waiting for this box to get shipped. Then they emailed to say, hey, I realize that it's not being shipped. And I was up, so at 2:03 a.m., I responded to that email saying, first I cut and pasted the, we do not ship long boxes. These are for local pickup only. And then said, I will cancel this order for you.
May 6th, I think.
Yeah, I said early May.
Mm-hmm. I just want to find the order so I can then find their email so then I can search my inbox.
Oh, you can go a whole different way. So, to recap, they made a mistake, bought a box that they wanted shipped, didn't pay for shipping, selected local pickup, and then emailed to say, hey, I guess I'm not getting this box?
Also, I mean, let me reiterate. They got multiple confirmation things saying your order is ready for local pickup.
Yeah.
Like, when we hold it for you, you get a notification that says it's ready for pickup. That's how people know locally when they can come in and get it.
Yes, and they would have gotten that within, a half hour of placing their order.
Yeah, I'll read you do you want me to read you their email?
Sure.
I'm going to exclude any details. My name is blank, and I ordered a long box from your store. I assumed it would be mailed to me, but instead it's set to be picked up in your store in Chicago. I live in blank, and I was never told my order was meant to be picked up at the store. Can you mail it to me? The order number is whatever. It was ordered on May 6th. My address is blank. This was at, per Patrick's note, 1:55 a.m.
1:55 a.m.
a.m. You got back to them.
2:03 a.m. It was 8 minutes later.
2:03 a.m. 8 minutes later. No, we cannot mail it. This is from the long box item listing, and this is all caps bolded, just like it is in the item. Bulk supplies are only available for local pickup, ! Not available for shipping, ! We have canceled your order.
Okay, so there.
Yeah.
Within 8 minutes of them communicating a problem, we took care of it.
Right.
at 2:03 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is customer service.
That's insanely good customer service. I would not expect
Right?
that from any business. Even ones that have like overseas call centers and stuff where they're working on a completely different time zone.
So, Dal, if you're buying something online and somebody comes back to you and says, "Hey, we canceled your order," what does that mean to you?
That means they cancel my order. I'm getting a refund.
Exactly. So then a few minutes later, they emailed and said, "So when do I get my refund?" And it just came across as so snotty to me.
Yeah.
And I did not answer.
Right. Which you shouldn't need to answer, because when we process a refund, someone gets a notification saying you're getting a refund.
Yeah.
But I mean, that the order's been, one, you get an email that it's been canceled, and two, you got an email that says it's being refunded. And then you'll get another email when the refund has processed. Again, all of these things are communicated automatically through our sales platform. Like, this isn't something we're doing or not doing. This is basic customer service stuff that is being done automatically. Again, like everything else, people don't read their emails.
No.
Which is why this person, the next day later, emailed again.
In the middle of the night saying, "So am I getting a refund or what?"
Right.
And I'm like, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I took care of this. You're getting a refund. You've been alerted to the refund. The end.
Yeah.
Right? Fine. And that was at the end of May.
And also, I mean, I don't appreciate the beginning part where everything is our fault.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be shipped, and somehow it's a local pickup
It was
order.
never communicated to me.
Right.
It was communicated to you.
Again.
Repeatedly.
Whole bunch of different steps. You bypassed it. And again, just to dial it all the way back to the beginning, you seriously thought a store was shipping out a long box to you for zero cost. Like, free shipping. You're getting a long box shipped from Chicago to another state. Are you serious? Like, that didn't feel like a red flag to you. Beyond anything you were seeing on the screen that said local pickup. Beyond the email notification you got confirming your order that says local pickup. Beyond the notification you got the next day when the order was pulled saying it's available in Chicago for local pickup. All of these things.
Right. Sure.
None of this was a mystery.
So anyway, all said and done, they got a refund early June.
Yeah.
You know, we see when the money comes out of our account and goes back to them.
Yeah. I mean, I usually tell people it takes anywhere
It takes up
between
to,
24 and 72 hours.
It takes actually up to like 5 business days.
Okay.
But it could be immediate as well.
Right.
We don't control it. It's their bank. It's however their bank processes a return.
Shopify processes the return. Your bank gets it to you. Am I getting a refund or not? What a fun email to get ever.
Right?
Am I getting a refund or not?
You've already been alerted to the fact you're getting a refund.
And on top of that, you know, again.
Well, all right. Let's.
The one thing I do want to say, the total for this order
was $9.97 or $9.94.
$9.91.
Okay, $9.91.
$9.91. I like that you put a note in on the order for reason customer refunded.
Yeah, thanks.
I didn't see that before. That's funny. Yeah, again, $9.91.
Right. Okay, fine. All said and done. Right? Great. We move on. Life goes on. 2 months later, just a few weeks ago, actually, we get a 1-star Yelp review from this person.
Mm-hmm.
And the review says that they ordered a box from us to be shipped.
You didn't?
After many months went by, they reached out to the store to say, "Where is the box?" And we're told, "You're not getting it." And then they never communicated to me if I was getting my money back. That's basic customer service. You know, blah, 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 whatever, 1 star.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a big deal to me.
I usually post 1-star reviews on businesses where it's not a big deal to me.
But 1 star.
I don't care, but I do want to write a 4-paragraph thing explaining why nothing was my fault and this business mistreated me.
So I respond right away because I was online in the middle of the night when that Yelp review came. So I responded right away. And here's the thing. If you've ever left us a Google review or a Yelp review, more than just the stars, if you leave a comment, I will respond to you. If you give us 5 stars, I respond. If you give us 4 stars, I respond. If you give us 3 stars, guess what? I'll respond.
One night, Patrick was bored in bed, and he responded to a review on the internet. So that goes, right?
Exactly. So it's just that, to me, is basic customer service. somebody says something about your business, you want them to know that they were heard.
So I would argue that that's what you would consider basic customer service, but I think that's very good customer service.
But I don't
think that's basic in any way. I think that is putting effort in and going not above and beyond, but certainly going the extra mile. I think that's honestly more than I would do sometimes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's also recommended by Google and Yelp. Hey, respond to these things.
Sure. I mean, they can recommend a lot of stuff, but to be honest, a lot of their recommendations are please participate in your end of the communication on our platform to keep everyone using our platform.
Yeah.
So they can recommend a lot of stuff. And it's like, recommended for Google and Yelp, yes. Recommended for you as a business? Arguable.
But I want you to be heard. And again, more than just, if you just give us a star rating, I'm not going to respond to that.
Yeah, for sure. I think you don't need to badger people and be like, thank you so much for the thing that you just tapped on your screen as you're walking out the door.
But even if
you don't want to have that interaction, and I don't want to force that interaction on you.
Even if their review is like, great store, whatever, I'll still be like, hey, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's all.
There has never been a time that I can remember where I've woken up in the morning and seen that we've gotten a review overnight. And when I checked it, that if someone wrote something that Patrick has now already beaten me to responding to them. Like, I always check just to be like, oh, I'll say something nice. Patrick already wrote like a 2-sentence thing. Okay, great, we're done.
I'm always up later than you, I guess.
It's true.
So it's a 1-star review. They don't really care. They just thought they'd mention it. So I respond with, okay, look, this review. Look, I said, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, and you know what? I genuinely am. I don't want to give anybody bad service.
Like this, it's not meant in the like usual like passive aggressive "I'm sorry you were offended" way. It's literally, I don't want anyone to have a bad time at Challengers, even if I think that person like arguably brought it on themselves. I don't want that. Like for 2 reasons. One, I don't want someone to have a bad experience. That's just human empathy. And for another, someone having a bad experience at Challengers means I got a whole bunch of extra work to do, and I don't want to spend my time on that. Like, I would rather avert those things as much as I could.
Right. So I'm generally sorry you had a bad experience. Yet, passive-aggressive is usually my default. So I think people always assume that, especially when reading it.
I think that's generally an assumption just on the internet.
Yeah.
That people are expecting, like there was a study that was done that people read, like, passive-aggressive comments into anything that was like a period on a text.
But an exclamation mark wasn't, yeah.
Exclamation mark was like authentic and enthusiastic, but a period was always like mean or passive-aggressive.
I refuse to accept that because of laws of grammar.
Yeah, same. Like, you don't want to overuse the exclamation mark. I know we're getting off track, but it's like a thing I think about sometimes, especially in communications with customers. Like, you don't want to come off like, I don't know. I find sometimes that some of the responses I get from businesses I communicate with, either for the store or for myself personally, if it's too like, hey, thanks so much, it's very like, dial it back. Like, I'm a human being, you're a human being.
Yeah.
Let's just do our jobs. You know, let me communicate what I need to you. You're going to communicate what you need to me. We're going to move on. But there is that thing of like, you have to present this image of, oh my God, thank you so much. You're so great. This is so awesome. We're having such a good time. So that is part of it. But I certainly wouldn't want to do that. When someone is coming to me with, I had a terrible time with your store, with your website, with an order, whatever, I don't want to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, part of it is this tendency that I think a lot of customers have when they're dealing with business where, and we'll get into this probably in a couple of minutes as you get further down your responses to this guy, the idea that the customer's always right and you as a store have to apologize for everything. Like, I don't know where that started, and I don't know why it's such a huge ask as a business to expect a customer to take responsibility when they screw up. I don't need you to eat every loss or whatever. But if you're like, look, I bought something I didn't mean to. If you admit it was your mistake, if you're like, I bought the wrong thing. What can we do about this? We can have a conversation about this. If you come to me with, you tricked me in some way, I'm a human being and I don't respond well to people making their problem my problem. Like, that is a situation where I'm going to probably do as little as possible to help you because you've made this confrontational adversarial. Like that was a decision you made to start off this dialogue by being a jerk. So again, like what am I required to do, and do I want to do more than that if I feel like doing more than that is rewarding you for being a jerk? We used to, and I know I'm going way down the line here.
Way down the line here.
But here's a quick digression. We used to work for somebody who had a tendency to throw a fit in like a business or a commercial context. And we were always kind of embarrassed by that as people who work for them. But holy shit, every single time it worked. They got whatever they wanted. And it was like, all you're doing is teaching them that that's the way to conduct yourself, that that's how you should, as a business, work with another business. By throwing a fit, by making demands, by making threats.
It's just being a colossal baby.
And so I think about that when I think about how I'm dealing with customers. If a customer comes to me and starts making threats and starts making a scene and is doing all this, I'm going to push back on that, because otherwise, what lesson are you teaching? And it's not my job to teach lessons to grown adults, but occasionally you have a chance to do that. And sometimes that means telling someone on the street, you're not cleaning up after your dog. And maybe that means that 3 people on the street yell at you, but holy shit, you still did the right thing.
Right.
Anyway.
Anybody who yelled at somebody for cleaning up their dog, like, get off their back. No, they did the right thing.
Yeah, there's signs everywhere. It's a public sidewalk.
It doesn't even matter if there's signs or not. You just do it.
Public sidewalk. Everyone uses it.
So what you're saying is it's the difference between, yeah, I thought I was down for this, versus, oh, I meant to sign up for this. Can you check to see if I did it right?
Right. Yeah, again, I don't need you to fall on your sword or whatever, but again, just acknowledgement of like, in this circumstance, and I can usually tell sometimes when I'm dealing with a customer, if the thing they're talking about is our fault or their fault. And I'm not going to go like, well, that's your mistake. But if they can start with an acknowledgement of, this was something that I forgot to do or I didn't do correctly, can you help me fix it? Yes, I can try to help you fix it as much as I can. I have, as someone who exists in the world, I've bought stuff I didn't mean to. I filled out an order incorrectly. I, made a mistake with a business, and I had to reach out to them and say, hi, I made a mistake with the business. How are we going to fix this? But I don't come into it guns blazing. I don't go into it, acting aggrieved, because it's not fair. It's not accurate, and it's not a good way as a human being to conduct yourself.
I don't mean this to be an example show where we just like, oh, and here's an example, and here's an example. Mm-hmm. But I bought a record from a record store in Germany. Mm-hmm. And after a month, I checked the tracking, and it had stopped. Like, the last update was customs June 6th. Mm-hmm. It's now August, right?
Right.
So before I reached out to the company, I did my research. I checked when the order was placed. I checked all the tracking. I saw where it was. Then I reached out and said, hey, this isn't your fault, but the record is stuck in customs. What do you suggest I can do?
Yeah, or what can be done? Like, I know what you said, but just in general, like we're working on this together.
Yeah.
If I need your help, I need to acknowledge that I need your help.
And they responded and said, this is something that really hasn't happened before. Let us talk to the post office and initiate a search.
Yeah.
Which is what I was hoping they would do, because I can't do that. Right. The sender has to do that.
Right.
Once it says it's delivered, and if I don't have it, then it's my job to go find it.
Right.
But so just today I got forms from a German's customs saying I need to fill out a bunch of stuff. Fine. But I approached them saying, hey, what can we do together to...
Right.
Yesterday I was talking to a comic creator, and I had asked them some questions that I had previously asked them, and they had previously answered, and I forgot. Mm-hmm. And they had said, oh, I thought we were already good for this.
For our previous email.
And then I looked up the previous email, and then I responded saying, you're totally right. You did say all this before. I couldn't be bothered to go look that email up, so I started a new one. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just the little things of taking ownership. But back to this Yelp review.
Yes.
So I said
1-star Yelp review.
So I said,
middle of the night.
First of all, like, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but your review is full of erroneous misinformation.
Right. And that's to be real quick. Like, we've gotten negative reviews.
You just
before.
Don't want me to tell the story.
I just wanted to chime in, because this is not the first negative review we've ever gotten on a platform.
Okay, you may want to hold off on that, because remember I started with I've learned something.
Okay.
That's what we will get to negative platform. Trust me.
Okay.
So I said, first of all, it was less than 3 weeks, not many months later, like you said. Second of all, you ordered a thing that specifically says in the description cannot be shipped. And I didn't even mention the things that, like, you got repeated emails from the system.
Yeah, that was the thing that, once again, like, because you had responded to this so early, that I got up in the morning, looked at my phone, saw that we'd gotten a negative review, and was like, oh, let me jump out of this and explain why none of this was a mystery to you. But you had already responded, so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to, like, also respond.
Third of all, and I think the most important, I responded to your concern at 2:03 a.m., 8 minutes after you emailed us, and took care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you're leaving us a 1-star review because we're not acting as a business should in your mind. I wanted to use the phrase poor customer service, but I instead quoted what they had said.
What's especially weird about this, that they'd even leave a negative review in the first place, is if part of the criticism is like, they never told me I was getting a refund. This is well after the point where you literally got a refund.
That's the point. They're making the review seem as if they never got a refund.
Yeah, like
they said specifically, it was only $9.91, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I just want other people to be wary of this business.
Yeah, but it's just especially weird because, like, they already got the refund, and their complaint is, I wasn't notified if I was getting a refund or not. You got the refund.
Here's the thing.
There's
have I said here's the thing twice?
Zero mystery. Like,
it is a mystery because it probably went back on their card and they never fucking noticed.
Well, I'm sure they got an email from their credit card as well that they never read because they don't read any emails.
Yeah.
Which part of me is like, man, if your whole thing is this wasn't communicated to me because, you know, they're a bad business. So if we had done everything you asked, you wouldn't have even seen those emails because you don't read any emails.
Yeah, right.
Like, what? Anyway.
So basically, like, look, stop pretending that you did nothing wrong and that we didn't immediately help you.
Yeah.
You got your money back. What's with this 1-star review?
Mm-hmm.
So they responded with a lengthy response.
For, again, something that was only $9.91 and they don't care about.
Yeah. Calling me passive aggressive, saying that it definitely wasn't a big deal to them until I wrote them an essay. And I'm leaving out all the grammatical mistakes, all the misspellings, all the lack of punctuation.
I do want to mention that they use the word spended.
Yeah, they
spended is the one that
was it spended or costed?
Oh God, yeah, I don't know which one.
It might have been costed.
It might have been costed.
Costed.
I
That
think
costed $10.
Yes, costed.
Yeah.
You're right. Which is in the first line of the review, and I just went, "Oh man, this is." Before I even really read it, I'm like, "This is going to be a roller coaster."
They had said that be an adult and learn to take criticism, and you keep complaining about this 1-star review. I'm supposed to give you 5 stars review for this shitty service, and they said I'm supposed to give you a 5-star review multiple times, and I never at any point, because there's more, said we deserve a better rating, a better review. All I said is you're leaving a 1-star review for your mistake that we fixed.
Right.
I never said it should be 2 stars or 5 stars or whatever.
No.
I'm just saying that it's, well, whatever. So I'm like, we can absolutely take constructive criticism.
Sure.
Can you take ownership for your mistake?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I'm like, I'm done responding.
Yeah.
But I wasn't done reading because they updated it again, much longer.
Oh boy.
Again, ranting about me complaining about a 1-star review, saying, what am I supposed to give you a 5-star review?
No one's asking you to do anything.
At no point in their third post did they mention their mistake, taking ownership.
Nope.
None of those things. And I waited like 2 weeks before I went back and checked.
I think at one point, I don't know which response it was in, but they had basically like criticized you for responding too quickly.
Yes.
When part of their criticism is like, I had to wait months and then I finally reached out to them and then they never responded and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but then on the other hand, if we respond too quickly, like you had done the first time that you'd emailed them where it was 8 minutes after they emailed you, apparently none of that counts for like customer service because it's not bending over backwards to do whatever they want, even when it costs your store a whole bunch of money to fix a problem they made. Just the original, like, are you going to ship this box out? Am I going to ship a $10 box out?
All right.
No, I'm not.
So they implied that I just wait on Yelp for a review so I can pounce.
Mm-hmm.
They accused me of screaming at them in my replies.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the only reason they left a 1-star review in the first place was because they saw how poorly we respond to every other 1-star review that we've gotten.
I don't think I saw that one. That's funny.
That's the third one, to which I didn't respond because A, I'm never going to get him to admit it was his mistake.
No.
B, I've made my point.
Sure.
C, he's made my point for me over and over.
Yeah.
But that made me think. Here's the thing I learned. The people that leave 1-star reviews do so because they're embarrassed. There was an incident and they handled it badly. If you look at our other 1-star reviews on Yelp.
So it's just a tantrum?
Well, sure, but yes. So look at the other star reviews that you can remember. We got a 1-star review because you told someone they couldn't just sit on the floor and plug their phone in to get charged.
Correct.
I got a 1-star review because I yelled at a person from a fictitious conversation about them torrenting comics.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one?
I do.
A situation that
went viral.
that literally never happened.
Right.
I got a 1-star.
Like, I think my response to it, like that review went viral on like a Reddit thread, specifically about like entitled customers.
Yeah,
which was great.
I got a 1-star review because I very politely informed somebody that we have a policy against buying more than. Oh, you know what? No, it wasn't more than 2 copies. It was the Death of Johnny Storm issue of Fantastic Four, and I politely told someone that they couldn't buy 2, that we were only letting each person have 1. And this was on a Saturday. And I pointed out, if we didn't have this rule, you wouldn't be able to buy any. And that person, and I was super polite about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The guy put his hands up, left all his books, and walked out. And Jill Thompson was standing right there saying, you forgot your books. And then there was one more where I was unpacking books in Sidekicks, and a younger guy came in and started like flipping through the boxes. And I'm like, hey, you can't do that. Those aren't for sale.
Yeah.
And it was a Tuesday. It was back on the Tuesday. So it was, I'm like, this is on sale tomorrow. And this person described me in a very unflattering way.
Shocker.
And but so each of these people
and also
felt like
we've had a few other 1-star reviews that we've had removed from the site because they are some of them are just like a guy would post I say a guy, a person would post 5 1-star reviews for local comic shops and 1 5-star review for a different local comic shop.
Yeah.
And they were all like, one of them was a weird, like, we yanked a backpack off someone's back and said, you have a backpack in here. And it was like, we don't have that as a policy. We would never do that.
And didn't they say, like, you got to go put it over there in the rack? We didn't have a rack.
Yeah. And if you look, like, within, like, a 2-hour period, they had posted, like basically they were, like, physically assaulted at, like, 5 different comic shops. But weirdly, this one shop, 5-star review, the best shop in the city. They loved
rolled
it.
out a
They
red
treated
carpet.
Like family. Okay,
they made
great.
sure his backpack was securely on his shoulders.
Or we've had ones that are just like reviews where it's just saying like just outright just go to another shop where it's someone is clearly like flying the flag for their shop, and so they are negatively reviewing other shops. We definitely one time had one where it was like somebody was in a very emotional and potentially litigious dispute with someone, and we were a bystander that got this really weird review. Yeah.
But for when it's an incident, it's always somebody who basically got yelled at. And I don't mean we actually yelled at them, but they did something where we said, hey, that's not a thing you can do or we can't do or whatever. And they got embarrassed and they feel bad. And so
we enforced a rule or policy that they didn't feel like should apply to them. And so that became our fault.
So rather than acknowledge it, they lash out.
Right. They throw a tantrum.
Yeah. So
because they're probably like people we used to work for. We're throwing a tantrum, especially with a business, gets them what they want.
And I always look at these people's other reviews.
Sure.
To see what they like and what they don't like.
And sometimes I just want to see, like, are they just negatively reviewing everybody?
Right.
Or, like, sometimes it's, like, we'll get a 2 or 3 star review and it's like, wow, okay. And you look at other reviews and it's like, no, they're largely positive. So they just didn't have a good experience. I don't know. like you're allowed to post those. You're allowed to post a 1-star review if you have a really, like, if something really goes wrong, sure. But when it's something, I don't know that I've seen a 1-star review we've ever gotten that I ever felt like that was earned. And maybe that's just me being, too proud of what we've built and the people that work for us.
But look, that's my whole point. Yeah. My whole point is the 1-star reviews are always a specific incident. And if you look at those incidents, it's them getting yelled at and feeling bad for themselves, not acknowledging what they did.
No.
When somebody leaves a 2 or 3-star review that says, great store, but not enough horror collectibles.
Yeah. Or
what can we do for
back
that?
issues. Or
but I mean, specifically when it's a thing, we don't, like we've gotten those, like, not enough horror collectibles. Okay, we don't stock horror collectibles. We've never claimed that we did.
Sure.
And nobody said, come in because we have horror collectibles.
Sure.
But for those reviews, I don't lash out at them.
No.
I will say basically like, hey, thanks for coming in. Sorry we didn't have what you're looking for.
I think rating a business on that is weird. But again, that's the platform. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. This guy from the most recent review used McDonald's as an example for customer service. When I go to McDonald's and there's a mistake, they fix that mistake right away. And the way he said, and there's a mistake, he didn't say, and they make a mistake, and he definitely didn't say, if I make a mistake, just if there's a mistake, it gets fixed right away. Yeah, man, you made a mistake, and I fucking fixed it.
Yeah. If you go to McDonald's
But no, my point is, do not compare a store owned by 2 people to a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
But I think even in that, if you're saying that's an apples-to-apples comparison, I would still be like, I've made mistakes at McDonald's before, and while they fix it, they don't apologize to me for it.
No.
They don't, like, they frequently act like it's an inconvenience. And I get that it is because I made the mistake, and they have to fix it. Like, I understand that them fixing it is, like, a favor to me. It's not them doing their job. It's them stopping doing their job to fix a mistake I made.
Right. And I'm sure in those instances you said, hey, I'm real sorry, but I made a mistake. Can you fix this?
Yeah. There's been times where just to give an example, I frequently walk to a local McDonald's and go pick up my meal. Sometimes I've gone through the drive-thru and then forgotten to refresh on the app that I want my next order to be something at the counter. So it's waiting for me at the drive-thru when I go walk in to pick it up. That's a pain for them sometimes because it's on 2 different systems, I guess.
Yeah, the same way when somebody comes in and says, yeah, you sent me an invoice, but I'm just going to pick my books here.
So I have to go to the counter and say, hi, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then I lead with the mistake I made and how I made it and if they can help me out. And sometimes they can't. Sometimes it's like, no, you have to reorder through the app for local pickup or for, counter pickup. And then the other one will just get refunded. And it's like, okay, I understand. Like, I don't throw a tantrum and be like, no, just your app is too confusing or whatever cover story people make up to make it not their fault that this happened. And it's like, no, it's my fault.
I don't know what your mother did with this computer.
Your app was intelligible. I didn't look at all the options. I went too quickly.
Yep.
And then I checked out.
I've done that exact same thing.
So, yeah, again, it's not like we both shop at Pro Wrestling Tees, a local t-shirt shop.
Yeah.
They're also, they're 1 hour tees. They're also shopaew.com.
They're also merchheroes.com.
Merchheroes.com.
You can go to merchheroes.com/challengers and see right now the one shirt we have up. Uh-huh. There will be more, but for some reason I'm having a difficult time getting them approved.
Yes.
Don't worry, I have an in-store meeting tomorrow with them.
But one of the things that you can do with Pro Wrestling Tees,
because they're in Bucktown,
which is a service that ships out nationally,
probably internationally now,
at least nationally, is if you are in the Chicagoland area and you're willing to go to their storefront, you can choose local pickup, much like we do. They have to have now multiple pop-ups that you have to agree to where they're telling you, you are acknowledging that this is local pickup, not free shipping. You are acknowledging that you are going to come in to our storefront at this address and come get your items. We are not shipping them out. I remember back in the day where it was just one pop-up.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you they had enough people complaining, where's my shirt? And it's like, your shirt is here in the store waiting for you to pick it up. No, you were supposed to ship it out. And again, I'm sure they got just like us. You were supposed to do this. No, we weren't. You chose the thing that you thought was free shipping because you're like, oh, I don't want to pay $7 or $8 to have it shipped out. I want to pay $0 to have it shipped out. I'm going to ignore the words that say Bucktown pickup or whatever. So yeah, again, plenty of businesses.
And you know why we don't do that? Because we'd have to pay for apps to do that.
We would. I actually looked into it. I looked into like with Flow, can we code in a thing that says like a pop-up? And I got back no, you
have to pay for it.
Yeah. Shopify Flow, which we use now to do some fun stuff, it can't interact with like the checkout. Can't do that. But yeah, I genuinely might look into like how much does it cost for a pop-up during checkout when someone's choosing local pickup to get them to say like, I acknowledge that this is local pickup and I'm coming into the store to pick it up. It is not being shipped to me.
If we ever do that and somebody still does the whole, hey, I thought I was getting this shipped, I'm going to be ruthless.
Sure. I'll look into it. There's an amount of money in my head that I would pay just for peace of mind.
Yeah.
And if the app is below that for one pop-up at checkout, you will start to see it at checkout when you choose local pickup for your items.
Is it this many dollars a month?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
That's about how much I'm willing for the store to pay, because anything more than that is like, no, now these people who are making these mistakes are not only costing me time, but literally money. No, I don't want to pay that.
So the thing that I learned is to maybe be a little bit nicer, because these people have hard lives. You know, they're the victim at all times. Clearly. And they never do anything wrong.
They're being disadvantaged by every single business they deal with. And they're fighting a lonely war, a solitary sentinel on the wall against all of these ruthless individuals that are just trying to destroy them.
And this is why
my heart breaks for them.
Passive aggressive is my default. It's just such like, I don't even realize that I'm coming across that way. But anyway, yeah.
I'll say real quick though, like you had dealt with a lot of this and I had stayed out of it, mostly because once you start, I don't want to start piling on.
Yeah, we're not ganging up on somebody.
And B, you have your way of dealing with this and I don't want to get in the middle of it. But there was no point in this where I was like, I got to talk to Patrick because this is going too far. I would only ever talk to you to say things like, I don't think this is worth your time. Like you had realized at the end, you're not going to change any minds. You're not going to win an argument. You're just prolonging someone who's being unreasonable by giving them more things they can be unreasonable about. Like, it's not worth your mental health.
And at no point did I ever get to say what I truly feel, because that's the thing that we screen captains used over and over. Like, this is how they treat their customers. You're not a customer. You never bought anything.
No.
But anyway, every single one-star review we have is somebody that felt like that was embarrassed because they got yelled at technically for a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not literal yelling, but they got chastised for doing something that either they did wrong or shouldn't have been done wrong. I don't know. I'm trying to phrase it to where, like, we didn't do anything wrong, but they have hurt feelings for a perceived slight, and they lash out.
Regardless of anything that happened before, they came away upset, and they need to put that upset somewhere.
Yeah. I don't care how many stores let you plug your phone in. You do not sit down on the floor, move something to plug your phone in without asking us.
Yeah.
Also, we're always going to say no.
Yes. There's 100 places you can probably go that are fine with you doing that. Nothing about our store says we're fine with it.
Also, if you come up and say, hey, what's your Wi-Fi? We don't have public Wi-Fi.
No. There's a whole bunch of cell towers in the neighborhood. You'll be fine. Overall with things like Yelp reviews, despite us responding to them and us talking about them for the last 49 minutes.
Entire episode.
I genuinely don't care about our Yelp rating or our Google thing. Like, it's nice if it's high or if there's a lot of positive reviews. Like any other human being, if someone has something positive to say about the store, I'm happy to hear it. It does make me feel good. I like knowing that we're doing a good job, if we're doing a good job. But like threats to like give us a negative Yelp review or a negative Google review, I don't give a shit. That's someone else's platform that they're making money on. It doesn't have any bearing on my business in the day-to-day operation of it. However, the things that I do respond to and the reasons we respond to one-star reviews is when it's erroneous. Yeah,
when there's false information. When you're still acting as if you never got your refund, when your refund was initiated immediately. And I even said in the review, if Yelp let me add pictures, I screen capped the exact day the money went back to you.
Yeah. If you're saying you don't like our business, fine. That's your right. Go ahead. But if you're going to lie about our business, that's where I have a problem. That's where I'm going to jump in. Yeah, if a one-star review is just like, I went to Challengers, I didn't like it, okay.
And also, every time that somebody has talked about a bad experience, like the guy that said, this isn't the first time challengers have treated me this way. And I'll respond, hey man, I'm really sorry to hear that. Can you please tell us what else happened so we can make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else?
Yeah.
And they never respond. Whenever I ask for clarification or more details, or can you tell me who you talked to, or any of that, so we can literally do something about it on our end, and I even said, I know you're never going to shop at the store again, but help us not give this experience to somebody else.
Yeah.
What exactly happened to you before? Never respond.
Nope.
So I also don't, if a store reaches out to me and asks that thing in an effort to try and do better, to try to say, hey, we want to not do this again, I'll help them out.
Sure.
I say help them out. That's the wrong answer. I'll respond to them. If I can't be bothered to express an answer for them I'm sorry, looking at you type is just super distracting.
Sorry.
It's like you're not paying attention to me. I'll just go over here and talk to the wall.
There's a business thing that came in that I needed to jump on this and tell Molly Jane, please don't deal with this. I will deal with this.
If a business is asking for my help to make them better and I don't help them, then my initial criticism has no weight to it.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to say. Amongst other things. But yeah. So yeah, if you look at the 1-star reviews and how we responded, yeah, none of them are mean. None of them are name calling or degrading.
No.
But they are saying, hey, like either you're misrepresenting this never happened, or of course we're going to tell you to not sit on the floor and plug your phone in. You never asked us. You just did it. I don't care how many other stores let you do it.
Yes. There was an unreasonable demand, not even a request, a demand, just a thing you started doing. Like I understand that you felt like it was just a common sense thing. It was not, and you clearly didn't learn anything from this.
Nope. On the tail end of that, the last couple of Fridays, well, all the time, but really noticeable on Fridays, we have plenty of people come in and be like, you guys have Pokemon cards? No, we don't. There's a sign on the door. You missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you'll see somebody read the sign, come in and go, yeah, do you really not have Pokemon cards?
I really don't.
But here's the thing that Gina pointed out. It's all middle-aged white men.
It is. That's true.
So now we just call them Pokemon bros.
Okay.
But that's any type of attitude. Last Friday.
Not Pokemans?
No, because man makes them sound too mature.
Oh.
A group of 3 or 4 guys came in. The guy comes up to the counter, looks around, he's like, yeah, do you guys have Pokemon cards? And I go, no, not at the moment, but we do have a sign on the door that says yes or no as to whether or not we have them at any point. And he goes, oh, well, I'm from out of town. I've never been here before. And, this was my first time in, so I didn't know. Come on, guys, and like motions to all his friends to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're walking out, one of the guys is like, we're leaving already? And the main guy just goes, over it.
Over it.
Yeah, and storms out. I'm like, I wasn't yelling at him.
Uh-huh.
I didn't raise my voice. I didn't look at him.
He just got embarrassed.
I just said,
and he couldn't deal with
hey, man,
it.
I wasn't like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir, we don't have them. But just for your general peace of mind, you can find out if we have them by just looking on our door the next time you come. I wasn't looking like that. It's like, no, we don't have them right now, but there is a sign on the door that says yes or no to when we do have them.
Right. So you don't have to come in to find out. You
Yeah.
just walk past the door and find out if we have them or not.
Fucking blows up about it. So like I'm waiting for that to be a negative review.
We'll see.
Now, admitted it was at the end of a long Friday, and I'm pretty wiped out after Fridays.
Sure.
So I maybe didn't smile at him.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't pat his head and call him a good boy.
Also, we posted a sign on the door because we got tired of people asking about Pokemon cards when we basically never have them.
Yeah.
That's why we made the sign, to try and avoid all of the daily questions we get asking if we have Pokemon cards. We
But
don't.
it's just,
We
I said
pretty much
middle-aged,
never
but
have
it's all
Pokemon
like
cards.
20 to 30,
I know
just white guys.
I knew you meant. Yeah.
That's all. It's never a kid.
Nope.
It's never a mom asking for their kid.
Nope.
Pokemon Bros.
Pokebros.
Okay, Dow, a quick couple of things.
Okay.
Number one, this passed with no ceremony. but we've been doing this podcast, Contest of Challengers, regularly for, any guesses?
2 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Oh.
17 years.
Golly.
Yeah. 17 years. We hit our just 17th anniversary. We're closing in on episode 800. Now you're like, wait, if you did it weekly, you'd be at like 890 something. Yeah, we took some time off here and there. We're not ever catching that time back up.
No, there were different phases of the show.
We didn't go daily during the pandemic, James Van Ostel.
Yeah.
But 17 years. So
Congrats. Good work, Patrick.
wow, this is
It's a lot of editing.
it's an insane amount of time. And also, I guess we do have some comical book news that you told me just before we started.
I saw it of all places on Polygon.com. I guess they were reposting a social media post. I don't know what platform, where Marvel has said that they're going to be releasing, I think next year, compact comic collections. Now,
wait, you mean Marvel Premiere Collections, right?
people who have been
Because
shopping in
there's-
comics for a while might have thought Premiere Collections. That's what Dal means.
Right. In 2 weeks, they're releasing 2 different Avengers Premiere Collections on the same day.
They're boring-looking $15 collections that sell okay, but not nearly as well as DC's $10 compact comics. Well, Marvel's doing their own $10 compact comics, starting with the first year of Ultimate X-Men, Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Ultimate Black Panther, the recent Jonathan Hickman-led Ultimate line.
So please tell me it's called Marvel Ultimate Comics Premiere Edition Ultimate Collection Compact.
I think they're literally called Marvel Compact Comics, which I think is really funny. And I don't know if that's the new administration or not. Just saying, just call
it what it
Compact
is.
Comics.
Yeah.
Like, DC doesn't own Compact Comics as a term. It's just Compact Comics. It's what the industry already calls them. Just lean on that. Why would you not want to draft off of the industry leader for this specific type of product? Like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Like, why make them too large, make them $5 too expensive, and call them some other thing? Make them the same size, make them the same price.
Yeah.
Jesus, like this, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Also, it's not as if DC invented this format out of thin air.
Right.
There's a reason they're this size.
Yeah, again, this stuff is, Marvel frequently would just make it too difficult for themselves for no apparent reason. I think they're coming out next year. I don't have it in front of me, but I assume they'll be in an upcoming catalog. The thing that I'm curious about is that I don't know. I assume they'll be doing volume 2s for each of these, and that's kind of where we drop off of our interest.
Yeah.
I don't want to carry essentially like
maybe each one is 24 issues.
No, they specifically said 12 issues.
I know. They also couldn't be.
They could. It'd be real hard to read. But we already don't carry like the Invincible compact comics, more or less, whatever they were calling their version of it.
Well, the main reason we don't do that is because they didn't change the price point. They just changed the shape.
Right. But there are people who want that size, and I get it. But
I don't get it. If it's the regular price,
yeah,
why would you want it smaller?
But that's the thing is, we look at compact comics as you can pick up any of these and get, if not a full story, then get the start of a story. I don't ever want someone to pick up a volume 2 and be like, this didn't make any sense. Like, oh shit, yeah, you did not read the first one.
Yeah.
You didn't realize this was a volume 2. The compact comics all need to be something anyone can just pick up one and get a story. If not a whole story, a story. Like, I don't even love stocking like the Why the Last Man and Gotham Central compact comics because those
they're
are just
volume
the first,
ones.
like 10 issues.
Yeah.
I would prefer them to only be things that are like complete storylines, complete miniseries, complete series. Like anything outside of that, I get kind of, I don't think it's a great model for those stories.
I agree with you on that.
Thank you, Patrick.
I also imagine plenty of people would be like, no, I want the whole set for my shelf. But I don't know that these are really bookshelf books, you know?
Maybe.
But maybe that's just because I've been a lifelong graphic novel buyer.
I mean, they're no different really than like manga. So, I mean, if people want to collect manga and have those on their bookshelves, I get it. This isn't a million miles away from that.
But manga never offered you a full-size version.
Sure. But I think I can see them. I can see people collecting them. And honestly, if we were a bigger store that had more space, we were to devote like a shelf and a half to Invincible graphic novels. I don't have another half a shelf to give to a slow
9 volumes
slow
or whatever.
rollout of
Yeah.
like 20 volumes, 18 volumes of another format, our 4th format for Invincible.
Yeah.
I just don't have the room for
Yeah.
it. If I had the room, Yeah, man, maybe.
Sure.
I don't know.
If we had the room, we'd probably stock deeper on all the compacts. As
Sure.
it is, we're reordering a ton every week.
Yeah, I have a level at which I stock them at. So we hopefully don't run out of ones.
Well, I didn't plan on this episode being just a 50-minute complaint about negative reviews.
It was worth talking about.
I think so. Also, it's a good story to tell.
Sure.
I think it plays well, if I can say that.
Sure.
But
I hope it does.
I hope we don't come across as bullies for our attitude to these 1-star reviews. Because if we get a 1-star review that someone said, hey, I really just didn't like the vibe or feel of the store,
But that's the thing. Like, I don't think I said that before, but I don't know that anyone would ever do a 1-star review being like, wasn't for me. That's not a 1-star review. Like,
yeah.
Anyone who would post that, and we've gotten stuff like that, it's a 2 or 3-star review. It's, I can see the store this person would be for. It wasn't for me. I think it should be X, Y, or Z. And it's like, fine. That's, I'll take it under advisement. Again, like you had said with some other stuff, we're never going to be a certain kind of store. Like, there's people who had criticized us for not having a lot of like back issue funk. And it's like, well, we're never going to be that store.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess I'd consider that a fair criticism, but it's not one we're going to work to correct. But like 1-star reviews are always like, you had a catastrophic experience.
They have an axe to grind.
Right. Or like, it would be something where for a business, not our business, you could leave a 1-star review if it was, you got food poisoning. I
was going to say, there's a cockroach in your food.
Yeah. You got punched by an employee. Like, yes, that's a 1-star review and also probably a lawsuit. But like the things that we do in our store, I don't know that we would ever conduct ourselves in a way that would warrant a 1-star review. Even times where we have like,
they threw me out for trying to steal.
Yeah. Like if we were ever had a contentious, like a dispute with a customer, it would never be something that came completely out of nowhere. It would be something where,
nor would it be us like screaming at them on the sales floor.
No, because we don't conduct ourselves in that way generally. Like, again, if I have a problem with a business, I try to come to them with, you're a person, I'm a person, let's work this out. I have the same thing with someone in the store. Even if you're, being belligerent or whatever, I'm trying to de-escalate things. I don't want to have an argument with someone in the store. I don't want to have a confrontation with someone in the store. Even if it's just me and one other person, I don't want that energy in the store. So I don't think we would ever do anything, initiate anything that would warrant a 1-star review. I just don't see it. So anytime we get a 1-star review, I do kind of go into it with what is this person's story going to be?
Well, all right, you say that, but what about somebody who was explicitly told that we grade comics?
Yeah, that's
they called the store and we're told
that we appraise comics.
And
they have
in their mind it means we also appraise charcoal drawings.
Charcoal drawings. Very weird.
Yeah, so that's a 1-star right there.
Sure. I'll take it.
Or a woman who called and Kate had answered, and the woman wanted to sell her comics, and Kate said, I'm sorry, we don't do any buying here. The woman says, no, your website says you do.
Definitely. It says exactly.
And then I pull up and show Kate exactly where it says we don't. And the woman says, that's false advertising. That's illegal.
Illegal? Wow.
Saying that you do buy when you don't. Like, we never said we did.
Show me where it says we buy.
It's been a while since we had a whole laundry list of complaints.
A single complaint podcast.
Let's hope that we never do it again.
Let's hope.
Thanks for listening.
Keep reading comics.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155. Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. And help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.